Are you two sisters? I'm Melissa, I'm the oldest.
I'm Dawn, I'm the youngest. And this is going to be about SmackDown house show on February 12th of this year, which is 2012, if we don't know.
It was up in Bakersfield, California. First off, a little backstory, what's up. There's another episode of Are You Two Sisters, which we'll be dealing with a SmackDown in January.
And the
DiBiase
posse party that we threw.
It's definitely, if you watch that episode, it's not up yet, but that will connect with this episode. Some stuff went down during that, the DiBiase posse party, to kind of make a long story short, and you'll hear more detail.
It will be more in depth in the next episode when we film it.
But basically what happened is we spent
$300.
About $300, maybe a little more, on throwing his DPP, which was fine. And basically,
we gladly did it because we're big Ted fans, and
basically what happened, unfortunately, is he got food poisoning and he wasn't able to make it to the party. There were some other things that were involved in that situation. Just people being angry and all stuff. Anyways, we came home from that. We were still a little angry. We were kind of
we weren't angry that he was sick, but
we will explain it in the other episode. But anyways, basically what happened is we came home and we were contacted literally the next day by Mr. DiBiase Jr. and basically it was decided that this house show would be
where we would meet up with
this house show would be a makeup kind of thing, and so it was near our town. And we had the gas to go do it, and we figured worst case scenario, we go up there, and if nothing happens, then nothing happens. So that's kind of the backstory about this. It was a SmackDown house show. They did decent amount of people were there. The main event was Randy Orton versus Wade Barrett in a steel cage.
That was a nice match.
Yeah, they had a lot of really good stars there. It was a good show. It was kind of early. It was like at 5 o'clock, but it was good for a Sunday. And I think that's pretty much the backstory for that. So, as they say, that's what's up.
Alright, this is Listen Classic Moment number 5.
This actually happened during the show. It was kind of funny. It was kind of a cool moment. We were sitting near the railing, and
we were like on the corner of the section. And
right, we were right there. And the match was Big Show versus Daniel Bryan, and this was when Big Show's face and all this stuff. And it was actually kind of funny because he was taking Daniel Bryan and he was kind of
leaning him over.
He was leaning him over the railing, and then he was chopping him
across the chest.
And they were coming around the corner, and I was kind of like, okay, they're not gonna like be that close to us. The next thing I know, Daniel Bryan is literally, me and her sitting right next to each other, and he's literally between me and her. Like, he's leaning back to the point where his head, it could be on our shoulders. And
he has his
arms
he's
behind
like
the
reaching
railing,
for
he's grabbing whatever he can. And at this point, I don't even realize it. Next thing I know, I see her go, ah! And she, like, jumps her feet up, and I don't know what's going on. And before I can even realize it, I feel his hand, like, grab my knee. And I'm, like, looking down there, and it's Daniel Bryan, and he's hanging onto my knee. And the whole time, he's, like, grabbing it, and he's like squeezing it. I'm like, and she's like, he's touching you. And the whole time I'm just like, what am I gonna do? He's got my leg, like, and it was the funniest thing because Big Show was like, everybody shh, and then he like slaps him, and it's like right there, you felt the whole impact, you felt everything. But it was the funniest thing is the whole time he's just using my leg as like, I don't know,
support or something.
But it was really funny. He just like squeezed my knee and like that. I was like, this is kind of weird.
Okay.
She was the funniest because she was like, ah! And I was like,
she's like, take a picture, take a picture, take a picture.
I was like, take a picture. He's grabbing my knee. Like, let's do this. It was definitely a funny moment, and just one of those things. So that's why it was in Instant Classic Countdown number 5.
Alright, this is Instant Classic Moment number 5. Did I get 5 last time?
Yes, you did 5 minutes. That's fine.
Okay.
Apparently we can't count.
I'm sorry. Blonde moment. Anyways, this moment deals with Randy Orton and Wade Barrett. It was the main event of the main event of the night. It was those two in a steel cage match. Let me tell you, those steel cages are not that supportive.
Yeah, those steel cages are definitely not supportive. At one point, Randy Orton hit the steel cage, and the whole thing, like, literally, like, bucked back, and the security guard that was sitting next to us was like, am I safe? And we were like, if you see us running, you might want to keep up, because they definitely, they're not exactly 100% sturdy.
Anyways, Randy Orton came out after Wade Barrett. Wade Barrett came out first to do a promo and whatnot. So Wade Barrett came out and he was walking up the stairs and he just like turned and looked at us with like the smile.
Well, let me set the scene. Me and Dawn were like the biggest freaking Randy Orton fangirls, and we're sitting there screaming like banshees. So I'm sure that probably had something to do with it.
But he climbed up the stairs. He saw us and smiled, and instead of going to his normal turnbuckle, which is like the front one, he came to the turnbuckle right in front of us, and he climbed up and he like looked right down at us and smiled, and I was like, oh my god, Randy, like, hi.
And then like after the show, he was making his way around the ring. He was shaking people's hands, and it was kind of funny because there were all these little kids around us, Randy, and which is fine, which is like totally
Lord knows
fine.
I was the same way. I was like,
But,
Randy, shake my hand.
You know, Randy was really funny because he came right to me and Dawn. The first thing he did is he came right to me and Dawn. He grabs our hands, and there was a girl behind us who was like decked out in all Randy Orton gear. So he shakes her hand. He's like, "Hey, girls," and we were like, "Oh, you know." And then the lady behind us, he went to shake her hand. He's like, "Yeah," he's like, "You know, these are my girls," you know. It was kind of cute. It was kind of funny, you know, that he just came right over to us, and you know, apparently we're his girls. So it was kind of.
We get called out a lot, but
it was a cute moment. It was funny. It was definitely made the night, you know, kind of spectacular when you have someone kind of go out of the way. But he went around. He was shaking everybody's hands. He's really good at that. He went
back and shook whoever he
He's really good at. That's one thing about Randy Orton that I love is he, you know, when he can, he will go around and he will make sure anybody who wants a handshake will get one. Okay. Usually, you know, I've been to a few shows where he's done that, and he's made sure that he will go around the ring 2 or 3 times to make sure everybody can get one, and I really appreciate it. I think that's a really cool. And not only that, but he doesn't just kind of run through. Like he takes the time. He shakes your hand. He looks at you.
Hi, how are you?
He talks to you a little bit. So it's definitely a cool thing. There was a little girl in front of us who had a cast.
She just broke her arm.
Her dad brought her to the show
to make her feel
better. We were talking to them earlier in that day, and she was so upset. She was probably about 8 years old, you think? And she was so upset, and her dad had brought her to make her feel better because I guess she was in cheerleading or something, and she couldn't compete in the competition, or so he brought her to wrestling to make her feel better. And Randy Orton came over and
signed her cast.
She actually had a Sharpie, and he signed her cast and on it, but he drew a little face on it with a smiley face, and you know,
adorable.
It brightened her night. Like for the rest of the night, she was, you know, you saw her outside, and she was just so excited that Randy Orton. I think he gave her a hug. Yeah. It definitely made that little girl's night. So that was a really cool thing to see as well.
It was cute.
And that's Instant Classic number 4.
Instant Classic moment number 3. This one's actually Cody Rhodes. I just could tell it was going to Randy Orton and Cody's going to be like a legacy night because I love legacy. But anyways, Cody Rhodes came back to do his match against Justin Gabriel that night, I believe, after he did his run in the Well,
let me say this first off. Cody Rhodes worked that house show.
He came out like 3 or 4 times.
He worked his ass off on that house show. Yeah. I mean, he was doing run-ins. He was doing matches, promos. He worked his ass off at that house show. He was running in, and then they had, you know, people were pulling him out from the back. I mean, he worked his ass off at that house show. I mean, you really had mad respect for him.
Because he was out there, like, constantly. You're like, jeez, when are you not going to be out
there?
Yeah,
he was working his ass off at that show.
Yeah, he came out and he was doing a promo, and if you know anything about me, you know that Cody's one of my favorites, and, of course, I'm a legacy fan girl, so it's obvious. But, Cody came out to do his promo, and he was in the ring, and he kept on, like, looking over us. He kept on, like, going to the ropes right in front of us and smiling. And he's like, y'all should be cheering for me. And me and Melissa we were the only 2 that would cheer. And he would, like, turn and look and smile, because we were the only 2 in that whole arena that was cheering for him, and everybody else was, like, booing. And then, like, Justin Gabriel came out to do the match, and Cody kept him rolling out, and he would always roll out and walk and pace right in front of me and Melissa. Like, he would not walk the whole session. He would just do it right in front of us.
At one point, he came right over and he leaned against the railing. Like, he was leaning there, like, taking a break or something, and she had to be, like, sedated, you know. She was freaking out.
I jumped up and was like, get down! Like, she, like, put me back.
What is she gonna do? Like, he's right there. Like, I was like, what are you doing? Like, sit down.
But it was cute, and I mean, it's not really a moment, but, like, to us it was special because it's, like, for him to be right there and that close, it was kind of like, is he really right there? Like, it felt like a tension because it seemed like he was looking right at us and right there.
And he was definitely playing to the people that were cheering him, that's for sure. Yeah. And FYI, we have one coming up. We got a great Cody Rhodes story coming up. Trust me on that. Anyways, but that's Instant Classic number 3.
Okay, this is Instant Classic moment numbers 1, 2, and Price's Person.
This is a little different. We kind of put these three together because you'll find out here in a few minutes that
it's two separate moments, but yet the moments make this particular person.
It's kind of all tied in together, and you'll understand. I'm pretty sure if you probably saw the That's What's Up, you'll probably have an idea of who's the Priceless, who this involves. Basically, I'll come out and say it. The Priceless Person in moments 1 and 2 are not only Ted DiBiase Jr. Like we explained in the previous episode about the DPP or whatever, we were contacted. We were told that, we had been he had contacted us on his own. He reached out. He had reached out on his own and contacted us, and we were kind of shocked that he contacted us. I kind of had a feeling something was coming, but next thing you know, I got an email saying this person is contacting you and everything, and
it just kind of like unfolded.
And we've been in contact with. We're actually still in contact with him. It was kind of started out as something as just this show, and now it's actually we've progressed from being in contact with him. Anyways, we were told, we had made an agreement about being there at this house show, and he had basically said, well, come on up, meet me, and come on up. I want to make it up to you. I want to talk to you guys. And we actually
had things from the DPP that
we had to give him, and we actually felt bad. We apologized to him. He apologized to us. The first thing we said to him ever was, "I'm sorry," and he was like, "Don't even. I'm sorry." Just a lot of really bad emotions. We went through hell and back for this thing. We lost a lot of friends because people were mad at us.
And the people that we thought were going to get mad at us didn't. The people that we thought weren't going to get mad at us got mad, and I guess the saying is hairs that I hate.
But it was being someone that we try to get along with everybody, and now all of a sudden to have haters is really, really hard. And people were coming out of the woodwork, people that didn't even know us,
people that didn't even know the whole situation.
Were coming out of the woodwork and hating us. But anyways, we got up there early. He had basically said, come on up and try to get here early, and we'll see what we can do. And probably about a couple hours before the show, we were there. Yeah. We didn't know what time to get there, but we figured we'd get there pretty early and just kind of kill time.
And then he
contacted us and said, "Hey, I'm at the gym. I'm coming to the arena right now. Meet me. Do you know where this place is? Meet me here." Definitely nerve-wracking. Knowing that this is going down.
Remember that at any moment he's going to come out of the arena, come out.
And this was, we had only met Ted one time before, and that was at Access, and it was a very quick moment. We had never actually talked to Ted. It was very quick, and so we went over to the place where he wanted to meet, and we actually saw him pulling in with Daniel Bryan, and it was like, oh god. And he saw us, and then he pulled in behind the security, and then probably about no more than a few minutes later, another car pulled out, and
I was on the phone with my best friend, and I'm like, I think that's him, and this is like, it can't be him. He was driving a different car. It was a completely
different car. He just jumped in somebody's car.
And he turned down the parking lane.
The only way he would turn down that way, there's no way to get out. So he had to have been coming to us.
And I looked at the car, I looked into the car, made eye contact with him, like, oh god, that's him. Listen, it can't be him. I'm like, listen, I know what he looks like, that's him. And my friend who was on the phone with me just burst out laughing.
And next thing you know, all you hear is the brakes squeak, and you hear a window roll down, and you hear, "Hey, are you the girls I'm looking for?" with this deep southern twang, and it was like, showtime.
Yeah, and then there was another royal laughter coming from my phone, like, stop going, I just hung up on my friend. Threw in my pocket, I'm like...
It was very nerve-wracking, especially, because now it's like, oh god, it's no longer just some dude on the other side of the internet that you're talking to. When talking on the internet, it's pretty easy, it's like, oh, it's just some dude typing, Now it's not. And
we were face to face with him, and it was just like all the emotions and all the stuff.
All the stress we went through from the DPP and friends, the haters, and everything. Friends being jerks to us and turning their backs on us and just everything. And basically, he gets out of the car, and the first thing he does, he gets out of the car, and the first thing is I look at Dawn, and
I had tears filling my eyes.
And you look at me, and I just got tears, and my lip is quivering, and the first thing he does, he goes, oh, no tears, no crying. And he grabs Dawn, and he gives Dawn a hug, and by the time he looks over at me, I'm just like, you know, and he comes over and he gives me a big hug, and that was the first thing he said. He's like, no tears, no crying, girls, no nothing. It was really great. We got to spend like 20, 30 minutes with him, just us.
Yeah.
No security, no other fans. It was just us three, and that was something I'll never forget because it was the coolest thing. And there were, we gave him all the presents that we got from the DPP. We even apologized to him, and he was like, "Don't even," he's like, "I'm sorry," and it was just awesome stuff to just sit there. You never get an opportunity like that to just get that one-on-one for 20 minutes, just chilling.
And the best part is we were sitting there talking to him, and there was like these 3 fans that were across the parking lot that saw him, and they were yelling for him, and Ted's like, "Hey," he like breaks like. That I'm not going to deal with them right now. This is your moment. This is for you. I'm not going to talk to them until I'm done with you guys. And I thought that was really cute.
Yeah, he eventually did go over there and sign, but he was definitely like, this is your guys' moment. It was really awesome. We spent 20, 30 minutes, like I said, just shooting the breeze with him, just talking about the DPPs, and he had just came back from a wrist injury.
And like
we were talking about that.
And the best part was like, after we got done talking, he's like, "May I take a picture with you guys?" I'm like, "You want a picture with us?" And we're like, "Sure, if we did one with you."
So we each took a photo with him,
and then he turned his phone on, and he's like, "Please on in here." So I was like, a sister
that
sandwich.
Was the coolest thing is because he was like, "Well, I hope you guys don't mind, but you guys are going to have to get really close." And we were like, "Okay." And so he did like one of those, so we squeezed in with him, made like a sister sandwich, and it's the cutest photo ever. We have it hanging up in our room right now, and great photo. And next thing I know, he was like, "Well, give me your name." And
I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna put tickets into the box office for you.
I'm gonna put tickets in for you. And we were kind of like, well, we're used to cheap seats, don't worry about it. And he was like, no, you're gonna be close. He's like, I'm gonna make sure you're close. And we spent about, like I said, 20 minutes with him, and then just shooting the breeze. And then he had to get in there. He's like, I'm gonna go get your tickets. And then it was funny because towards the end I kind of wanted to give him a hug, but I didn't really know, and so I was kind of like doing that kind of like
wacky, like
thing, and finally he was like, "Come here, girl," and they gave me a big hug, and then
he gave me a big hug. It was like so cute. She wanted to give him a hug, and like he forgot to shave that morning, and he didn't shave that morning, so he had a little bit of stubble, and
my hair got caught in his stubble, so me and him.
It was so adorable.
I'm like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. I'm like embarrassed, and he's like, oh no, I got some scruff. It's fine.
They were both blushing, but yeah, I'm like, oh my god, it was like so cute, and I was like, that's adorable, and
so we went to the box office, and he had messaged us after we met him. He contacted us about 20 minutes later and was like, hey, I just put tickets in for you. Go check the box office. We went to the box office, and the lady hands us our tickets, and sure enough, there's 2 front row tickets sitting in our hands, and I was like, this can't be real. And sure enough, we get in there, and Ted's match starts, and the first thing he does, he gets up on the ring, and the first thing he does is he's looking, and then he sees us, and he's like, hey, and he's waving, and he's smiling, and he's pointing at us, and that was kind of cool, because we were like, oh my god, and everybody around us was like, oh, do you know him? And we were like, kind of.
And then, like, during his match, he fell to the ground, and he looked like he landed on his arm wrong, and meanwhile, jumping was, he's like, Ted! Like,
the first thing he did is he looks over to us, and he's like,
I'm good, and we're like, okay.
He was so cute, and then, like, after the match, he was standing there, and, she was busy messing with her camera, and he's standing there, and he looks right at me, and he goes, and I turned to him, I'm like, I think he's coming to us. I didn't know what he meant by that. And literally, like, the moment they played his music, he jumps off the ring, comes right to me and her, and the first thing he does, grabs our arms and pulls us to him, and, we thanked him for the thing.
So he did, like, a double hug type thing.
Yeah, and he's all like, no, he's like, girls, like, you better contact me, you better write me,
you better tweet me.
You better bother me more, because we always told him, we were sorry for bothering him, and he's
like, you're no problem.
It was amazing. It was probably one of the most amazing SmackDowns I've ever been to, and he just, and this is why he was the priceless person. He went out of his way to do any of that. He didn't have to do any of that. Lord knows we didn't expect him to do any of that.
Yeah, we didn't expect any of that. We just expected to hand over the gifts or, to clear the air. But
he's just amazing. Like, he really is. I will go to bat for Ted DiBiase, for forever now, because he's just an amazing guy, even now on a personal level, personal basis for me, he's been great, even after this whole thing, the house show went down, there'll be days we have a bad day and we'll get a random message, hey, everything okay, you alright, you doing okay, he's very, he's just been, he's been a really great guy, and he's just awesome, and he's the sweetest guy. to do everything he did for us, he didn't need to do that. And I mean, I still can't believe we got to do that. Stuff like that doesn't happen to us, and it did. And it was just, I mean, I feel like we owe him so much. And it was a great day. It was just a great day. And I wish, I mean, I still smile.
We still talk about, every time I see that picture, I can't help but to smile because it was just a great moment to know that someone that doesn't know us personally and isn't related to us can do something like that for someone that they don't know, you know.
He went out of his way for us, and that was just, it was amazing. And I mean, in case you guys don't understand, that's why he's priceless person. You know, he's just, and he is. He's just.
He always will be priceless.
He's
just one of those
He's a
guys.
great guy. If you ever get a chance to meet him, do it. You won't be sorry. He is just the sweetest guy and the nicest guy and extremely friendly to the fans. And I just can't say enough about him. So I definitely, you know, if you've never met him and you get the chance, I say definitely do it because it's definitely worth it. And that sums up this episode of Are You Two Sisters?